Hello guys, welcome back. It is time here for the pre-qualifiers, so you can go to Stockholm, so you can then go to Cluj. That's the plan, at least, if you're one of these teams who is aspiring to be the best and qualify for the major. And we are here, and we're not quite at the qualifying round just yet. If you're just joining us, we just had an interesting overtime on Mirage, and Copenhagen Wolves not doing as well as I thought. Yeah. PENTA playing really well, so it's very hard, despite the very different styles, hard to separate these teams on a skill level. I have no idea if Cash is going to really be any different.
Yeah, I mean, it's odd. We saw a lot of it just coming down to really just sort of aim battles, and then really just some interesting strategy coming out from Copenhagen Wolves really on the T side. So if they can keep that up into Cash, I feel like maybe they'll have a slight edge here, but... Yeah,
I mean, I'm a fan of a lot of the map control takes that Copenhagen Wolves are capable of, but I think PENTA's aggression and how effective it was, I think again that's going to be very useful for them as well if they decide to go for what is very typical, which is delayed middle takes and so on like this, things like this, and also any pushes in towards A as well. Always rely on similar kinds of skill sets, being able to move and shoot very effectively as a team. And we are going to see the pistol play out now, and it looks like Copenhagen Wolves are going for that 4-man A push through door and through main.
Yeah, they've gone for the info, and they'll work out what is exactly going on, and they should spot the players trying to get up onto boost, and this could be really devastating here for the T side. Zende going huge. There were two big frags, and his teammates have to try and chime in, though.
Very surprising they didn't get more kills out of that. They really got the drop on them with the silencers as well. So poor result from Copenhagen Wolves, despite picking the correct strategy. And now we're back to a 3-on-3, so every chance for PENTA to really secure this one.
I mean, that's the worst thing as well, is that B bomb site has been left open for them, and they will be able to get the plant. And really, they've got complete control here. The CTs, they're busy over at mid.
We do get the bomb plant here for crisby, so the clock has been put to the CTs. zEVES does have a kit, and they're looking to move in together through the upper area and CT as well. Little ramp. And here we go. In they go. Stavros on the bomb site itself. He'll take care of zEVES. So not really much to do at this point, to be honest. And interestingly, the small little note there, the guy with the kit was the guy on the ramp. So if whoever goes up there just dies instantly, there's no kit all of a sudden. Yeah. So I don't think they thought that through fully, but never mind, they got crushed. But they kind of deserved it for not doing more with that 4-man push towards A main and door, because they should have won that easily. Oh yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they got 2 picks, and then just it sort of crumbled from there, and it all just sort of fell through. And once the T's as well, because they were allowed to rotate round where everything was so confused on that CT side, they got complete control of B site, and it's all sort of crumbled.
So now it's just a bit of stacking towards the B-bomb site. Copenhagen Wolves just playing their force buy situation. PENTA, I hope to see them using these Molotovs onto the bomb sites. If they do that, I will be very happy. Please. Yes, yes. But they don't put any towards the bomb box, and we see that it gets taken full advantage of by Zende with that CZ. So they lose quite a few players, but the idea was correct. So I would have liked to see, I mean, you can get control of the vent room very easily. So from that position, you can Molotov the entire bomb site, the headshot area, the bomb box area, and the close position towards the left, and then you're sorted basically against any stacks. So PENTA, nice idea. They almost executed it very well, and we go into the next round, and it's a full eco pretty much for the CPH Wolves. Going a bit of ham there in mid, the sprays, but. That's a 20-second round over with.
Just a complete massacre there to try to get that eco over with. Well, it's the first 4-buy round of Cash. Let's see how this one's going to go.
Yeah, the problem for CPH Wolves is no AWP is going to be very annoying, and of course a very big lack of grenades because they went for the force buy. And PENTA, they can abuse this by playing a really slow round and trying to bait out all the grenades before going for their final push. And we get an A main take from Copenhagen Wolves. This is actually awesome to see, but I think that the player who's defensive on door, which I do believe is Schneider, I think he heard that. So I think the PENTA know what's going on here. And I would expect a delayed middle take from this kind of position for PENTA. You're defensive in the early stages. Then after a while, you're like, okay, we would expect that there's no big mid presence anymore because it's later to the round, and the CTs are more afraid of side takes, so they won't want to invest as much in mid. Now we get an easier mid take, and they are, I think, boosting up right now to do that as well. Or are they going in A main? No, they're going in A main, it would seem, and they are going back for the bomb now as well. So nobody middle actually at all, interestingly, for Penta. They got the kill there, and now they're kind of just milling around. Yeah. Interesting.
They're dropping off a bit now, working their way back though. Interesting to see what they're actually going to try and size up. I mean, you've got the 3 CTs that have rotated over to A. One of them is actually getting very aggressive into main. He's gone for the information. He realizes what's going on. That nade is going to hit him directly in the face. RUBINO taking a fair bit of damage there.
So you can see that the slow pace of Penta has given full time for CPH Wolves to reposition, and they are going to claim a lot of kills, just holding down the lines, and there's just too much to deal with for Penta in this round. And I'm a little bit sad that we didn't see that delayed mid play in the end that they tried to go. They were, I mean, I think they had one guy spotting in A main. They saw that there was CPH Wolves are kind of playing around there, and they just went for the kill. And then after that, it did look like they were kind of just making it up on the fly. And that's unfortunate. Had they gotten a few players into mid, they would have been able to go for an A split from there. There would have been quite a few options, but I think they felt like their backs were against the wall in that one, with having no map control very late into the round. Map control doesn't matter though. If you're Crystal right now, hitting an excellent shot onto Zende will thin out the ranks for Copenhagen Wolves and also weaken the mid hold. Only RUBINO there now.
I mean, the CTs, they're going to have to spread themselves a little bit thin now to try and counter for losing one man. And these are getting a little bit aggressive once again towards main. They do love going for that early A pick and then just seeing what sort of options they have after that. Working together as a unit here as the Wolfpack. Bunching up, ready to try and go for the play, but crisby looking a bit shaken up, and the rest of the team will opt to just fall back.
Absolutely, it's a tough spot to be in as the CTs. RUBINO has a very nice position. It's very committed. It's once you know he's there, it's very easy to just kill him with nades, with a well-placed Molotov, flushing him out and finishing him off. But Penta, they're not going to be able to capitalize. They are actually going to get very split up again. And they've got 2 players moving into A right now, and one lurker towards the B-bomb side trying to cut off zEVES, but that might not make a difference if Twist can take down both players. It looks like he's going to do that, getting so much damage in. Stavros is still trying to battle against zEVES as the bomb gets planted on A. This is kind of interesting right now because kRYSTAL has a possibility to get a one-on-one because of that huge delay. He's looking for the quick shot. He needs to kill before the second player comes in. kRYSTAL is playing a dangerous game, gets the shot into the back of Twist, goes through the door, and Twist will know that. He will call that to zEVES. zEVES surely should know that he went through the door there. Oh my god, just a quick scope there from kRYSTAL, and he is going to save the round with a nice 3k. And I'm really surprised. Surely zEVES should have heard the door at least.
Yeah,
from the def cam.
He would have been aware there from the def cam. So it is odd if it's a bit of a miscommunication that he didn't relay that, because it's crucial. He should have been able to win that round essentially if he would have known where he was.
But maybe he's just was he trolling him or what? Because he should have known. So yeah, it's probably a quad mate.
He's on B.
just that is very odd actually, because I was very curious when kRYSTAL moved there. I was like, okay, I guess he wants the wallbang angle, but that's still like really risky to try to do that. And well, it did actually pay off. So we have a minute whilst an issue gets resolved. So I don't know. What would you do if you had a minute, Jackie?
If I had a minute,
what's a minute of your time worth?
I don't know. There's a lot you can do in a minute. 60 seconds done. Yeah. You could do one thing every second. That's 60 things. You could divide that. You could do 120 things.
Oh my god.
What would you do?
I'm really glad I asked you because my mind is blown. I don't know. I don't know many more than like 5 things that I can do with my life and my time. So I'm kind of stuck there. You're a man of many skills. And trades, Jackie.
I'm a busy man. You know, I'm all over the place.
I'm surprised we could get hold of you.
It's James had to send a carrier pigeon. It came through my window.
So you're a good multitasker.
Yep, of course, of course.
Apparently, girls are good multitasking as well. Then guys suck at it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read that somewhere once. Very legitimate information right there. think I read this once somewhere.
Citation needed.
Yep. Well, we are going to be back in about a minute, guys, so no fear indeed. And did you say it on stream, James? Okay, I don't even know what he said. I think it was humorous. It was about multitasking. Anyway, at the moment, it's looking quite good for Penta. Obviously, Copenhagen Wolves, their money is somewhat broken, as we can see at this point in time. So they're going to have to keep the ecos going. I mean, Penta did, to be fair to them, they did just have to clutch in kind of an extraordinary way. But they do seem to be getting the better of Copenhagen Wolves when it comes to the picking game. And we haven't really seen much in the way of executes from them. But that's nothing to really be too surprised about. It was very similar on the first map as well. Penta opted always to try to get a pick first, and they focus on that kind of play. And it can be... this can be a good map for it, because it can be hard for the CTs to necessarily deny it in certain spots without giving away too much of the map. So Penta seem to be managing to angle themselves in the right ways. So I'm quite curious to see how Copenhagen Wolves are going to come back into this one. And if they don't, then of course we'll be going to a third map, because Copenhagen Wolves did manage to win the first map with an amazing finish from Zende on Mirage. So. But who knows with these two teams? Who knows? Yeah,
it's always up in the air. I mean, if the first map's anything to go on, it is very evenly matched sort of fights we've been seeing from both sides. So it should be an interesting one.
I mean, I would like to see adaptation from Copenhagen Wolves. If a team is playing pick-based play, there is a lot of ways to handle it. You can try to go quite defensive. Of course, you can go to the AWPs, and that's something that Copenhagen Wolves wanted to do previously. It's a good way to handle it, to be honest. Get the AWPs in play. You can try to play 3 players in middle and play the 1-3-1 setup. That's also quite strong, because you're more proactive, more information. You can better deal with players who are picking into mid, and it's harder for the T's to pick A and also to pick B. So there's lots of ways to deal with it for Copenhagen Wolves, but it's early days, so we will see how they manage to do so in the future. But for now, it's just about Penta cleaning up players with just pistols and nothing else.
You wouldn't expect them to really do much here on the eco, and in the minute they're just sort of, you know, the testing range right now, firing range, just allowing Penta to warm up their rifles.
Absolutely. So you are going to see the first kill there, and it looks like it's going to be pretty easy considering the bomb is down, and that's all you really need in a spot like this. So Zende actually managing to make a kill into Spiidi. Spiidi playing close range in the vents there, not necessarily optimal against pistols, but whatever, it's fine. They're actually going to steal away the AK. That's kind of a big deal, actually. In the early stages of a half, you really want to hang on to every single economical edge you possibly can. So that's possibly really nice, because they could do more damage with it. Ooh, zEVES almost gets some extra kills there. Somehow, actually, we're going to have Copenhagen Wolves finding a couple kills there. That's actually really, really nicely done.
Yeah, that's pretty huge stuff towards the end there. You know, that extra economic damage, that's what you want to try and get in, and they've done well. Hello. A bit of cash in their pockets, but they've still got to stick with just whatever they can scrap together at the minute. They do have the AK they were able to scavenge, and then one a few other assortments of pistols. Early tag, though, coming out over at mid. Drops Crystal very, very low. He does have the AWP, so it's not going to matter too much, and Schneider gets the first frag to kick fingers off.
Yeah, this is really nice. They've gone for that 1-3-1 at the start of the round, and that presence in middle has really rewarded them with a lot of damage and a kill as well. So we can already that already gives them information and some things to play off. An opportunity also to grab a gun. Didn't pan out, but of course the damage on the Crystal and Spiidi could end up being very, very important later into this round, as we see Penta going towards B. Now, Copenhagen Wolves, I actually like what they're doing here. They're deciding to say, we're going to stack one site. If you go to that site, we're going to wreck you. If you go to the other site, we can play exits for max economic kill damage, or we can save. That's what I hope that they will be doing. And I would prefer the saving option, because they already have Kevlar, and you don't need the helmets, so they can. That's going to save them a lot of money if they can keep hold of that into the next round, as well as the AK and some of the pistols here. So I don't think they should be incredibly concerned with exits personally, but we'll see how much they commit to it. They're being pretty tentative at the moment. Yeah, it looks like they are phasing back a little bit.
Sort of holding the off angles there, just in case anyone does go for a push.
Because I do believe they're on a. What is the? How many have they lost in a row right now? Is it 4? No, it's 2. So the third loss is going to be $2,400. So Yeah, they're going to be, with those Kevlars already bought up, it's going to be pretty nice for them.
Yeah, they have a fair bit of cash now, and they can actually go for, once again,
Yeah.
looking at the double AWP setup. This is interesting now as well.
Yeah, we spoke about this. Did seem to be their go-to on Mirage, and it's on Mirage, and it seems like they're going to look to it here, and it could work out very well. First of all, let's establish where they're playing. So Twist is playing towards A, and RUBINO is playing towards B. So this is actually the standard way to do it, and it really helps when jkaem can pick up a double on the spray down in middle.
Yeah, they're not even going to need to use those ults of him just laying down the law at mid very early on, giving them that 2 picks, that early advantage to really shut down Penta right in their tracks. And now, 3 remaining players on that side. kRYSTAL, he's still alive, he's still got the AWP, so there's potential for him to find a pick for him. They're just biding their time, working their way around A main, working out exactly what they do want to do. Spiidi, he's up on top of boost as crisby works his way through mid now. And they could potentially be able to find their way up short.
But this is the problem with the AWPs and the lack of grenades. You are going to be facing some horrible angles if you try to take that peak there. So many players get caught out by that. Sometimes you're hoping that the AWPer will be looking into a main, but as we can see with the players left that there are for Copenhagen Wolves, you can more safely spot that with the guy from the car area. But Spiidi's going to go up regardless. He picks up the quick kill onto Zende. He's jumping around, just darting around this bomb site with such ease, being very agile, but finally RUBINO gets the catch, and it's all on Chris.
Firing that P250 away like a madman, but RUBINO pushing in with the CZ. He's able to spray him down and end the round. That's the thing as well. I mean, Copenhagen Wolves there, they were allowed to just sort of hold their angles, just not have to really do much, just wait, allow for Penta to go for those pushes, and then just rip them apart with the AWPs. Of course, we saw it. They got mid control. It looked like, yeah, potentially they could have something going on here. If they could find the way up short, maybe get a frag onto the site, and then take control of A, but instantly shut down just the frag of the AWP coming out. They were able to just lock these angles down really quickly.
Yeah, and right now, it's the onus is on Penta to discover, ways to figure out the double AWP, and they are going to go with a lot of players through door, and we've got 2 players, one for Copenhagen Wolves near MBK, one in MBK, one in quad, so that's actually quite optimal. We can see them now pushing into these positions, and it is an excellent setup to deal with this. It is flawless, almost completely perfect. zEVES took 19 damage there, so that was it for the entire round. So great stuff from Copenhagen Wolves. They bounced back, forced the eco from Penta, and now they look solid.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And now, I mean, Penta, they've not got a lot to go on, really. They're struggling a little bit. They've got 2 flashes on Spiidi, but it's going to be interesting if they're just going to go for sort of a shock and awe, just try get the round over with, just charge in, or actually try slow things down, see if they could potentially get a pick if Copenhagen Wolves do get a bit aggressive, like jkaem here.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, just ripping them apart.
Yeah, jkaem's been, he's been doing some nice stuff today, to be honest. I know they're just equaling players, but it's cool to see jkaem just going absolutely mental and getting a lot of really nice and crisp, clean kills with the AK, and seeing his rifling really on point. So that means 4-6. Copenhagen Wolves on the comeback trail to try to equalize things, and now Penta are in a position where you would expect them to do an execute now. Like this is like an execute would be probably the most expected play personally, because of they know that the double AWPs are a problem right here. Challenging into middle has been an issue. They can try to play it slow around and then go for that delayed mid take, but at the same time, the potential for an AWPer to be there, or for them to be able to take mid, and for the AWPers to still be very useful, is always going to be an issue. So they need to get presence in B storage or A main to really have an effective play into mid, because what that does as well is it distracts players to be in positions where they can easily support middle, because they're having to think, okay, there's a guy challenging A main, I've got to support my teammate here. We don't know how many players they're going to be there. So it's easier to give up middle than it is a bomb site. So it's a lot of things going on. We can see Penta are focusing towards the middle of the map as well at the moment, and leaving a man in B storage. So they really have their options wide open at the moment. But time is starting to be a bit of an issue. It's 50 seconds and they don't have any map control yet.
Yeah, still fairly forced back, sort of pushed in, not really able to leak out a little bit there. kRYSTAL, he's trying to get a little bit big for his boots though, trying to go for the face, see if he can potentially find a pick or anything, but through mid seems to be what they're actually going to finally commit on, but they're getting ripped apart by zEVES. site. kRYSTAL was able to find the fragments of RUBINO, then that's quite nice, but it is only him left standing. And the bomb is in CT side control, and he just gets completely picked off. And
what we saw there as well was on the mid take, you can't push into mid without molotoving the vent. Like it's so cheap to do that. $400, and if a CT runs into it, then your likelihood of being able to kill him raise dramatically, because I mean he can try to take the fight with you standing in it for like 2 seconds and then leave, but of course that means you only need to do like 40 damage to him or less, and you guarantee that he dies. So it was a little bit of a sloppy push, I think, from Penta, but here they are with their eco into B, looking for the fast frags, the pace, the shock, the ore, and maybe the plan as well. We've got Spiidi on that bomb site. He's going to pick up the kill onto jkaem, and it's still going to be hard for them to get the bomb down, but maybe they can do it now.
And Spiidi, he's looking really aggressive right now. He's looking very hyped up. Wants to try and find some more frags. He's bouncing around. Holding an angle now, watching vent just in case. But no one's going to be heading towards there just yet.
Ooh, that aim punch. Oh dear. Gotta feel sorry for Spiidi there. The aim punch is... It feels so unfair sometimes. Obviously, if you're doing by Kevlar, then that's the price you pay. But it still feels so... Like, you can't do anything. If you get aim punched, you just get tagged, you're just useless. So, 6-6. We're all tied up, and Copenhagen Wolves have a lot of bank as well. That's the most significant thing about this, is the sheer amount of money that they have in the coffers to use, and how also their double AWP setups has been working pretty flawlessly so far. And on Mirage, they were not able to really make the same thing happen. They were really struggling. They were losing, and the reason why they were struggling is because they were losing bomb sites, and then the AWPs like trying to retake was too awkward and too horrible to deal with.
I mean, beautiful. The counter boost coming out. It's working flawlessly.
Okay, Copenhagen Wolves really hitting everything at the moment. This is kind of hard for Penta. Once again, it's Schneider and Stavros. Bomb is down in the mid warehouse, and Ruben is going to take down Schneider. So Stavros, at best, he can hope for some economic damage. But that said, he would have to do a real economic damage. You'd have to kill probably 5 players at this point.
I mean, it's interesting as well, because that's the thing on Mirage. Whenever they were going for this double AWP buy, they'd always lose the round. And then potentially there's nothing they could do, because they were losing so much money attempting to do it, whereas now they've actually got that buffer. So they can, you know what I mean? They can use it, and it works.
I think if Penta want to try to recreate some of their success against the double AWP that they had on Mirage, they need to be able to execute onto mid. And the problem is that I don't know if they have the execute on mid, but they don't seem to have one necessarily. Either it's a wall of smokes, either it's just having all the flashes and the molotovs in the right place. So you get the sandbag molotovs, you get the vent molotovs as well. But just taking mid and not peeking the short angle where the AWPers will be looking, but just having mid away from them. So then they don't know where you're going, and you can then set up for a very fast split. And you can use smokes in so many different ways. That can really hurt the AWPers. That's actually a big reason why they were able to get into sight so easily as well on Mirage, which forced the AWPs to move around too much to be comfortable. And now they're just not able to do that. We can see jkaem. This guy is just absolutely on fire, just running around. I don't think he's even stopping to take these shots. Nice double coming back there in the hands of crisby and kRYSTAL, but will it be enough here? They've got 45 seconds. And they've got a bomb. They're playing against 3 CTs here.
If they work together, it might not be too bad. Twist, he's on that A site. Leave, actually. Working over there. It's actually RUBINO with the AWP in hand. Lands the first shot over onto kRYSTAL, and he's working around the box, playing for time, waiting for his teammates to come over. But he knows crisby's there. He knows exactly where he is, and they should be lined up to try and get the frag. Warning shot going out there, telling him of his impending doom, and it's the Deagle to shut him down.
So, if I'm not mistaken, have Copenhagen Wolves won 7 in a row?
I believe they have, yeah, because they went from... It's when they got that first round on the board, and they've just run away with things.
Okay, yeah. My keyboard is not working very well. Bad signal. But yeah, it's been going very well. Ever since they picked up the double AWPs, it's been going... Wow, Schneider's not actually getting toasted there. That's amazing. So, quick mid-take coming in from Penta. Looks like they want that fast map control. Now, to do it this fast into a round, you've got to take it and then slow it down, because then you want to try to get somebody in towards A main with a partner, or likewise into B storage, so you can split from it. That's the most standard way to play it. Getting picks is really nice, but we've got to be careful. We don't want to see Schneider necessarily going too aggressive, opening them up to the AWPers who are looking down short. Once again, jkaem is just holding things down in the vent area, and it's going to be Schneider who does kill RUBINO, so that RUBINO was not able to make the AWP work in that situation, and Schneider is just wrapping around. This is chaos. Chaos.
It's getting completely ripped apart here, and I mean, Twist. Switching it out to the M4 here. Knows there's players on every angle, knows where they are, and he's able to get the first frag onto Schneider. Turns it into a 1-on-2. If he plays his cards right, there's potential for him to win this. Spamming through the wall, very close to getting the tag, but won't quite be able to do it just yet. Realises where they are in sight, knows they're trying to bait him out into a position, gets the frag onto Stavros. This is huge stuff. The 1-on-1 against Spiidi. Can he get the kill? Ooh, very close.
Amazing comeback, though, from Copenhagen Wolves, all things considered. And, I mean, in that round, the way that PENTA were able to win that felt very inconsistent because, again, we saw that on the long-range angle, RUBINO was moving a lot, and he didn't have the best engagement on the AWP. Normally, they have really good engagements when players are moving into the short angles. So it was, and once Schneider got that kill, he just started rolling, he just started wrapping them, and they just unraveled, basically. If you kill too many players, the CTs have to watch too many angles. The element of distraction becomes a really, really big part of allowing the opposition to shoot you in the back. So we saw PENTA capitalize there. But that looked really good from Copenhagen Wolves, actually. I still feel like PENTA didn't have an answer for that. And we saw that it was 7 rounds in a row for Copenhagen Wolves. So that's really interesting. And we're going to the next half, and again, it used to be the fact that zEVES T sides were really good. So and once again, I'm quite curious what their style will be. We saw very many executes. We saw loads of B executes, loads of A executes. Seldom much mid play unless it was to set up for a 3-pronged attack on Mirage.
Boost aggression over at mid. This could be terrible if crisby can start landing these shots. He's able to get one pick and the nade rolling out. Should do a fair bit of damage. Actually gets the frag over onto jkaem. Not looking too healthy on that T side now.
Yeah, this is a bit of a disaster. The timing on that push was quite off. The coordination wasn't really that good. I'm surprised they didn't wait for a couple players to coordinate in the the mid warehouse to go out over the boost and through the warehouse together. So you're facing with 4 players at once. That's going to be better for sure. But so they wanted a really fast timing, it seemed, and PENTA were ready for that. So 2 versus 4 is going to be a hard ask, but I've definitely seen harder situations won in the pistol round. So PENTA playing it safe and spreading out, making sure they have the spots on all the relevant locations, mid, B, and A, all the long ranges, all the angles, so they get all the information.
They're very committed to believing they will go for this A push here. And I mean, zEVES is working up with the bomb in hand. We do see Zende trying to help him out as well. crisby spot in mid just in case anyone does go for the peak, but he won't find anyone. As things do begin to kick off on that A site, and Stavros landed a juicy shot there onto Zende. zEVES, he went for a sneaky plant, but Schneider was ready for it.
Okay, so this is where Copenhagen Wolves could actually be quite good because, again, one would assume that if Cash is anything like their Mirage, we're going to see executes, and this is pistol armor nades territory all day for the terrorists. Not getting the bomb down. You have to eco twice anyway, so you're likely force buying now because that makes the most sense as a tease, and so you would then assume that the most likely play from that is going to be the A execute with grenades and Tech 9s. Or some Tech 9s. It depends on the team, because some teams like to get more grenades, some teams like less grenades, but more Tech 9s. So we'll have to see how they actually decide to go with it. Because especially with players like Twist on the team, I think like if you want to enable them more, so you don't need as many players with good pistols. What's better is being able to use grenades to get those players into positions where they can do the real damage and open up the bomb plant. And then if they can get some damage in the bomb plant, they're going to be home free. Even if they lose the round, you know, the opportunity for pressure or just saving in for a really strong AK buy in the following round is all there for them. So I mean, despite losing that pistol round, in a situation like this, I really feel like it's far from the end of the world for a well-rehearsed team.
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to find their way back into it. I mean, we saw it happen on Mirage, so I don't feel like they are out of the game at all here. But Scout by coming out on Twist, I mean, potentially they could find an opener here if he is able to connect the shot.
Yeah, so they've opted to go almost no nades. It's just zEVES who's got some nades, and we'll have to see if PENTA are going to play this smart and just keep themselves. I got to be careful here. And the cool thing about that is that that spot means that Copenhagen Wolves know now pushing out the door that these players are close by, but they have way better weapons. You can see the lack of smokes is really a big issue. They got the bomb down, that's good. But where are the kills? Twist is going to have to get something. He does find Schneider. And are they going to keep challenging Twist? It's very needless to do so. You don't want to lose too much money. And they're just trying to protect the weapon, I guess. Chris is going to, well, that's it. Chris is going to pick it up and go for the kill. And the defuse will happen. So, interesting round. The bomb did go down at least, so there is opportunity for pressure. I actually think that they should go for it. I think there's an argument either way in this one. It's marginal. They got so little damage there, and I would be afraid of PENTA's economy getting out of control. But at the same time, you got to learn when to cut your losses as well. And they want the grenades in the next round, so it makes a lot more sense to save. Yeah.
I mean, especially with the style of play we've seen Copenhagen Wolves use, they need a lot of grenades to actually execute those takes. So. I was getting ripped apart though, and I mean. Joakim on the B site, he gets a cheeky dink coming out there on the Molotov before he's finally shut down.
That bomb plant really makes a big difference actually, in allowing them to have so many more grenades here as well, and also them being able to buy up a little bit extra last round. So here we go. We've only got one Molotov on RUBINO, and for me personally, with the players all the $100 left who bought HEs, $100 more. Get a Molotov instead of an HE. It is way better. It's so much stronger than the HE is. You can remove positions, the position of the CTs with that, and that's so incredibly strong. Especially on a map like this where the CTs can force the aim jewels, you want to force them out of their positions.
Oh, dancing around the smoke there. He got through, but Stavros wasn't able to actually do anything from it. He got picked off. And zende going huge with two big frags somehow on short.
Absolutely, but the madness doesn't stop. Copenhagen Wolves with a strong round, my god. They used every grenade as well. Straight away. But those kills from zende, that was something else. I mean, okay, sure, you're looking at Twist, okay, as the star, maybe, as the guy that is going to deliver the big clutches, the big results, but some of the stuff zende has been doing, it has been remarkable. Especially the way that he clutched the end of the overtime on Mirage was just amazing.
Yeah, it's really smart stuff, really. He's got that crisp aim, but it's just the patience that you need as well. Very slow and methodical. Yeah,
you're right. He's cool, calm, and composed.
Zende combo. Because he's like a cucumber.
I think people might not get that. I guess because cucumbers are cool guys. They're cool, apparently. But my cucumbers are not cool. Here we go. We got Twist with the AWP now. It's been a long time coming that we want to see Twist on AWP. He's pretty badass with that thing. And now PENTA on the eco again. So this is starting to remind me a little bit of the last match in some senses, in that Copenhagen Wolves started to, on the T side, when they get to the T side, they start grinding back the rounds. And well, they do have some map control now. They're poking around. They're very aware that there could be a stack somewhere. The only problem is that, again, only zEVES has a Molotov. And Molotovs are so useful in finding out where the stacks are, because you can throw them on positions just like this. Okay, he messed it up, but it was supposed to go a little bit higher and then drop in the corner. Then it Molotovs anyone who's standing behind the sandbags. Then you eliminate that there can be someone there. And that's very useful as a tease in this position to eliminate positions. Uh-oh.
Things are beginning to crumble a little bit there as jkaem gets picked off, and a little bit of damage on RUBINO as well.
So we do have the CTs actually surrounding Copenhagen Wolves, and I don't know if they know about this, but they are getting flanked, sandwiched essentially. And this is very awkward. Okay, oh my god, Twist! You're a beast. Oh, Twist! He won't stop. He gets another one, and that's going to be that. If PENTA had a chance, well, not after Twist had his say.
And massive, just crazy stuff coming out there. He wants another one as well. He's going for the hat trick and he gets it. That's
disgusting.
Wild.
Disgusting. So, we're going to have to see whether or not PENTA can get something done now that they have some more monies to play with. But Copenhagen Wolves are coming dangerously close to getting a sick amount of momentum into this one, really establishing their economy now. And if Twist keeps that kind of play up, it's going to be hard to stop. And PENTA, you know, they're having to rely upon a severe lack of grenades here. kRYSTAL did decide to get himself an AWP, and it's again at the cost of a lot of utility. So let's fast in with a quick pop flash there to deny any aggression from the CTs, keep them back, which is basically a map control play to a large degree, because it also creates a lot of uncertainty. And as we can see, there's 3 players from Copenhagen Wolves moving to the Wolves door. This could be huge, this push onto A.
Ooh. Yeah, this could be devastating. stavros ain't ready for it. He does get one before he's shut down, but 1-for-1 trade, is it enough as the A bomb site has been taken and zEVES from behind holding the angles. He's aware there could be someone coming. Catches sight of Schneider, who's going to come out on top. Schneider will get the frag.
Positioning here is decent from CPH Wolves, but they are down a man. So they're feeling very pressured. There's nowhere to fall back at this point. And PENTA aren't taking any prisoners. They're going straight forwards. It's down to Twist. Oh. He's going to get taken down from the top. We were looking for the clutch somehow, but because it is Twist. It is Twist, but even Twist cannot win a situation like that. Do they? Yeah, they have that. Okay, so yeah, that was actually another thing that I failed to mention, is that their money was so crippled that they even were unable to buy a single defuse kit. Okay, there it is. They've got one now on stavros. So okay, there's one on Spiidi as well. So that's a little bit more secure. And full grenades, as well as they survive with so many players. So Copenhagen Wolves, they need to really get more pressure onto the economy PENTA if they want to keep them away from some of these nades into the future. And Twist is now, he's decided that he's going to go away from the AWP, and he's back onto an AK. And this does make a lot of sense, considering it looks like they want to go for a fast play in A, and that's much more useful to have an AK in a spot like that.
stavros, aware that the push is coming out. Knows that they'll be coming and gets the first frag on RUBINO. Can he get the follow-up though, as they're pushing all around him, and zEVES gets the frag onto crisby. jkaem chimes in as well, and there's the follow-up. Things are looking dreadful for the CTs now. They have to do something big here. kRYSTAL's got to try and find the hope with that one, but he slightly missed the shot.
This is a really important one for Copenhagen Wolves. They can really damage, send shockwaves into the economy of PENTA if they're able to win this one. kRYSTAL needs to get something out of this, just moving up at the top of the ladder, but he can't really spot anything from his vantage point, and they are going to decide to back away. It is a smart choice. Again, let's check their money, their economic situation. And nice little kill there from kRYSTAL, but let's have a look and see how the economic standing is. So as we can see, they've been reset, so 1,400 in addition to what they have now, which is very, very, very little. So they have to go for a save, I think. They can actually buy. They could potentially do it, but it'd be so horrible, and it's definitely not worth the risk.
They're going to risk it.
They're going to go for the risk. They're going to go for it. It's really hard. It's a hard call, I think. It's a really marginal one. So we see like a CZ, FAMAS. It's pretty rough, but they're up to the task. Oh dear, kRYSTAL's up close. Does get eliminated straight away. Did get a single kill for his team, but he's not going to slow the pace. Not going to slow the roll of the Wolves.
Crispy, going huge, shutting them down, and it's very well paid off as they just go absolutely massive now. 3-on-1. Zende's on the back of the site. He's got the AK in hand. Can he defend against them as the Molotov goes out? It's going to miss him. He'll be fine. He gets the first frag.
This is actually very doable, considering the weaponry here. Fast onto the second, but not the third. Spiidi will pick it up, and he has a kit as well. So it is not a problem for Spiidi to get the defuse. But we have to remember that that's a very close round for PENTA, and the bomb did go down for Copenhagen Wolves, which, as we can see, this puts them in a position where they should actually consider force buying. They should buy up everything here, even though a lot of them cannot afford to really buy. They should go for it, because we can see the economic impact. That should get them to 13-12 fairly easily if they win this, or even more than that potentially. Oh dear, that's a nasty bit of a slash there, bit of a stab. zEVES. like they want the A take again.
A bit of aggression coming out from PENTA as well, getting very up and close. Maybe they're going to actually go for that counter boost, yeah. Using it. So seeing if they can spot anything, but just holding, waiting for that right time to go for it. And now will be the go time.
Wow, that is really, really impressive. Getting that frag is kind of a big deal, because with the weapon Schneider had, he could really have just locked them out of peeking him, and the information he gets from being there is kind of huge. So removing Schneider gives them a lot of options, but they are actually running low on grenades right now. They've got 2 smokes and 4 flashes between them to Copenhagen Wolves. That means they're going to have to start to rely on players like jkaem and zende, the ones carrying the rifles.
They've got to try find those big openers here, and Stavros with that P90 tucked away. Spiidi with the AK in hand. They're all there, 3 of them. It's going to be a fairly even matchup as they all charge in to meet in the middle, and the battle of the Giants begins. They're getting shut down, the T's. They're struggling, they're getting picked off from all angles, and it just comes down to one. He's dropped. And now it's all on jkaem. He's miles away, Dan. He's got a long way to go to even be able to try to find a frag.
Does get the first one there. It's nice kill, but he's not got the time, unfortunately. Otherwise, it might be doable considering the health of some of these players and considering how jkaem has been playing. But that said, he is going to save his AK and his armor. Now, the money on Copenhagen Wolves is going to suck because they did not get the bomb down. If they had been able to get the bomb down at the very least, they could have actually considered buying again, but they're going to have to save now, which will put PENTA to 14, which also means that Copenhagen Wolves will not have any more chances to... They just have to win. If they want to win, they'll have to do it from that round forwards. They'll not get any more buys before they lose the game. They lose their next buy. So it's very important that they try to make their life easier in the future by getting some good damage in here.
jkaem. So a bit of damage over onto Spiidi, but couldn't quite find the frag just yet. Everyone just sort of holding angles now, just waiting. Very slow play coming out from Copenhagen Wolves. They don't want to overcompensate for anything just yet and throw the round away.
So we are going to see Copenhagen Wolves play come to a head as they move towards the A bomb site. And there is a formidable defense awaiting them. And look at that little pop up there from Schneider. He might regret that one. Goes down immediately. And in comes the domino effect here from PENTA's excellent defensive work. And that is everybody dead. So that's fine for Copenhagen Wolves. It is all resting on this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the decision maker right here. This is gonna sort of swing the tide of the battle. So Copenhagen Wolves need to bring their A game. They've got to be shooting their hoops.
So the options for them here are pretty vast, but they have chosen to get some quick pressure onto A main. We can see a smoke, but there is actually always a possibility to walk through that smoke towards forklift, especially if you have a guy who's distracting from the door. There is actually a way you can coordinate that, which can be quite fun, but it does depend on how the CTs are playing. As we can see, because they're not playing the 1-3-1, it's not actually possible to do any sneaky plays. They're playing a 3-0-2 setup, so mid is completely exposed. I think the guy who's next to the vent isn't even boosted there. I think it's Spiidi. He's actually just AWPing from vent room into B storage. So mid is completely up for grabs at the moment, and this is a risk that PENTA have taken. Is it one that Copenhagen Wolves will capitalize on? That remains to be seen.
It's going to be interesting as they just take their time. Very slow. Molotov there, holding them back. I mean, they're just really wasting all of the time for Copenhagen Wolves right now, but they do go for the face. Schneider gets the first frag. kRYSTAL comes in with one as well, and this is huge stuff. jkaem does retaliate back off of his teammate, and they've somehow been able to find the advantage, but crisby evens out the numbers.
Okay, trying to go for the good plan here is jkaem. Now RUBINO is already in a good position towards A main, and jkaem's going to go towards the quad position. This is actually very hard for the CTs. They do have some flashbangs, and here they go, soaring through the air as Spiidi looks for a good vantage point to see if he can spot some of these positions. However, They are excellent positions here. RUBINO is going to find a close face from Spiidi. Great flashbang, and RUBINO tries to adjust, and he can't in time, and his teammate goes down immediately. jkaem peeked, and it seems as if the angle was held by crisby perfectly. And PENTA win the round. This is devastating. Okay, sure, there can be another bye here for Copenhagen Wolves, but the best case is going to be overtime. And, well, can they get there? 4 rounds in a row is what they need.
And they can't make any mistakes, and everything's got to be flawless. And Copenhagen Wolves, they're looking a little bit shaky to what we saw before, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually do it. They have to bring their A game. They're going for that fast take onto the A side. Everyone charging through. zEVES making his presence known, firing off those pot shots, and things do begin to kick off, but they've been ripped to shreds. The CT's going huge, and it's all on zEVES. And 1 versus 5. He just get picked off.
I wonder if zEVES was doing that, because if you hear somebody firing shots like that, it's pre-fired. You're just like kind of pre-firing if the CT's in like pop flash in or something. So, or trying to cover the footsteps of his teammates running in. I think it's like a combination of the two. So it's actually kind of a cool little touch there. I don't think he was. My first thought was like, maybe zEVES is just kind of frustrated with his team or something, just being. But I think that's much more likely. So there you guys go. We're going to have a third map, and it's going to be an overpass decider. And at this rate, again, it's pretty impossible to call how this is going to go, which way it's going to swing. These guys are really close skill-wise. So we will go for a quick break. When we're back, we will bring you overpass.